From Mothman and Nessie to the spirit that haunts your home, welcome to Bob After Dark, a podcast about legends, lore, and the supernatural. So turn your lights down and your volume up and enjoy your trip to the shadows.
Ooh, hey there, children of the night, and welcome to Bob After Dark, the show that takes you into the shadows and goes and says so hello everything that goes bump in the night. I'm your host with the most that enjoys toast, Bob, and alongside of me, as always, is my ever wonderful, ever vampiric, ever cape-wearing, and forever the heartthrob of Bob After Dark, my friend, my producer, Count Panic himself. Oh, hey there, Count Panic.
Oh, hi, Bob. Yes, we are back. Another episode, another edition of Bob After Dark, which promises to be, Bob, a real humdinger.
A humdinger, if you will. A real hootenanny.
A hoot and a half.
A regular barn raising.
A barn burner.
What's the weekend update, Count Panic?
We're going to raise the barn.
We're raising a barn
We're
here.
going to burn it because that's what we do around here. But
Yes.
The roof is on fire. But, Bob, yes, we are here. Oh, yeah, you asked me that already. Yes, the weekend. I had a good weekend here, Bob.
Yes, weekend update. What'd you do? Because I got it sharing to do anyway.
You have a lot of you've been roaming about, have you, Bob?
What did I do this past week? I didn't roam anything. I'm saying sharing that we're live, so you just
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
Go ahead.
did I do anything this weekend?
I'll let you think.
I hung
about
out with Dr. Ben Vanderson Saturday. That's about
Really?
it. But you're the first.
Okay, I'll
You're
go
the
first.
star of the show. I just hang out here.
Bob, you know, we usually tape these on a Tuesday night, and sometimes the weekend seems so far away, even though it was just a couple days ahead of us here. But, you know, all in all, Bob had a nice, restful weekend, I got to say. It's, of course, we're still in those winter doldrums.
Doldrums?
Is
Is
it
that an actual term?
Doldrums, right? Winter doldrums.
Winter doldrums.
Yeah, look it up. It's like we're in you know, people start to get a little bummed out from the winter fatigue is setting in here. But you know what? All in all, the past few days, and it's shaping up. I'm looking at the future forecast, Bob, for vampires. This is pretty warm for this time of year. I think it's pretty warm for anybody this time of year. Leading
You know
into
what it is?
the
It's
rest of the
the
week.
world's most famous weather animal, weather hog,
Yeah.
the hedgehog,
Oh,
the
Bob.
the
hedgehog.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah.
How does that work? He saw his shadow. He didn't see his shadow.
I don't think he saw.
If he doesn't see a shadow, it's 6 more weeks of early spring, right? Okay, I'm
early-
mixing up the lore completely.
Yeah, 6
here.
more weeks of winter.
Okay, so you tell. So what's the deal, right? You go in, you pull Punxsutawney Phil, you pull this poor animal out of a hole.
Yeah, yeah.
And if he sees a shadow,
Yeah.
he runs back in the hole, and that's 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah. I forget which one. I believe if he sees
Okay.
the shadow. I don't know.
And if you don't see his shadow, if he doesn't
Yeah.
see his shadow, he just kind of hangs out.
Yeah.
That means it's an early spring. Am I
Early
right on
spring.
this?
I mean, you're close. If that might be right. I'm not.
Okay.
Gonna fact check on that.
Hopefully, someone in the live chat will be able to let me know.
But you know what? Yeah, I guess for him it's early spring, and the temperature's kind of showing awareness of that. Now, Bob, I believe we discussed this before. The hedgehog, a cryptid, or not a cryptid? Is the hedgehog a cryptid?
The hedgehog is not a cryptid by
Okay.
itself. We talked about this years ago.
I remember this
That's the
conversation.
ancient Bob After Dark lost episodes. We talked about this ancient history. I don't
What did
remember
we say?
I don't remember anything about it, to be completely honest,
Yeah.
other than it sees something and it could do something.
See something, say something. The hedgehog does, I believe, but I believe it's some kind of form of a cryptid, because really we don't. When's the last time you see really a hedgehog walking around? It's kind of a rare sight, right? So you might have to lump it into the cryptid category as far as hedgehogs go. That's just me. That's my reasoning behind it. But this episode's not about the hedgehog, right?
No, that was Friday. I was just letting you know, you were talking about the weather being nice. Okay, now I'm done sharing so I can actually pay attention to what I'm doing.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was okay. Gwen Knight hung out for a couple days. We're finally, like, we sat down and worked out Twitch stuff,
Yeah.
which is really exciting. We're going to be doing our first Twitch stream.
The first
Twitch stream is going to be tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that. I got
what's
to
a
hang
Twitch
out with.
stream?
Oh, okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
You asked me what I was doing.
What are you doing? But now you're confusing
okay,
me with that.
okay, fine. Let's go. So Bob After Dark now is going to have multiple stuff going on, right? I've always talked about keeping myself busy and, it never really panned out. But now we're actually going to be busy. So Bob After Dark Live the Bob After Dark Plays is our Twitch channel that we are officially launching tomorrow. If you're listening to this in podcast land, I don't have a schedule set up yet. Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, I'm going to play spooky video games. And then part of me wants to do something on a Sunday night. Me and Count Panic were talking about it before the show. We're going to do micro Bob After Dark Twitch episodes that are going to go get launched on our YouTube channel.
Wow.
I don't know what that's going to consist of yet. I would like to do that more. This Bob After Dark is scripted, right? I have my episode well planned out in advance. Sometimes I don't. Well planned out in advance. We have a structure. You get your news segments, you get your lore of the week. So what is? Oh, by the way, somebody just let me know Puxatani's not a hedgehog; he's a groundhog.
Oh.
Thank you, thank you so
the hedgehog
much.
sees a shadow, right? What's a hedgehog?
Someone's yelling at me. Thank you so much, Chef. I appreciate that. No, so
I'm out here.
You agreed with me.
I did.
You agreed with me. I don't want to hear it. So
I think it was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Anyway, so I don't know what the mini Bob After Dark episodes will consist of on the Twitchverse. Maybe that becomes more interview based. Maybe it's one of my ideas I had was like hopping on eBay and doing cursed item shopping on eBay, like Streamy and Panic, like Count Panic looking through eBay for cursed and haunted artifacts.
Are you gonna buy them?
I know. We'll just go and look to see what's available. I think that's, and I'm open to suggestions. So if you guys go into Bob After Dark's Facebook page, our Discord link is there, so you can go join our Discord, and I have a suggestion box, like thread that you guys can go post into. Let me know what you want from me as far as like mini episodes that we're going to be doing once a week. That'll be me and Count. That could be us stretching our legs a little bit. It's not as, I'm not worried too much about the FCC on Twitch, so that'll be a little bit more relaxed than what we have here. But that's, and that's going to be great. And then I'm going to be, my life outside of Bob After Dark, I do a lot of video gaming anyway. So I'm like, it only makes sense to make some extra scratch doing the Twitch stuff anyway. So tomorrow on Wednesday, that would be February 7th, I'm at 7 p.m. Central. I'm going to be doing my first playing of a game called Sweet Home, which is a Japanese puzzle horror game from 1989 on the NES or the Famicom in Japan. It is a group of investigators are going in and finding a haunted mansion with a ghost woman kicking around, and there's a group of like 5 investigators. So I'm going to be playing through that. I haven't played it in 15 years probably, so I'm going into it pretty much completely fresh. And so you guys can check that out. That's twitch.tv/Bob After Dark Plays. Make sure you guys see me. That's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. Count Panic won't be there for the video gaming portion because it's just for me to kind of do. But when we start launching the mini-sodes, we're going to have Count Panic on there as our, he's going to be more co-hosty than producer because I'll be producing that stuff.
Yeah.
So he can actually sit back and enjoy himself.
As opposed to now where I'm
sit back and
enjoying myself.
And remember, folks, our phone lines are open, 219-845-1100. Last week we got how many calls? 5? We had 5 calls.
We didn't break.
We didn't break because the record's 6. Let's get 7 tonight.
Really?
We hit 5. We hit 5 last week. 6 is our record altogether.
Okay.
I don't know why I remember that number. I couldn't tell you when we did it, but our record 6 calls in one night. I'd like to see 7. So can get that phone line open, 219-845-1100. Also, folks, if this is your first time ever watching or listening to an episode of Bob After Dark, we are your weekly. I can finally say weekly. We're back on track now.
We're doing
it's really
pretty,
nice.
You know what? We're not jinxing
I'm not
it,
jinxing it,
a
but
pretty bit of track
anyway,
record.
so we're your weekly show where we talk about legends, lore, supernatural, things that go bump in the night, lights in the sky, weird cryptid stories, and of course, Count Panic's favorite flavor of soda.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now this is a big debate here, Bob, because people are either like the dark. Now, wait. First, just a moment. You said soda. Are you referring about pop or soda?
What is this? Pop.
Pop.
What is pop?
You live in the Midwest.
I don't call it pop.
How do you not call it pop?
I call it soda, man.
But you live in.
I don't care.
We don't. But around this area, you know this is a pop area, right?
No, I want a
Soda?
soda. That's I don't know, pop.
Pop. What
That's
kind of pop
such
do you drink?
What kind of pop do you drink? What kind of soda do you have?
It's like saying like what kind of Coke do you drink? Although Coke is a
And then the
brand,
people
yeah.
just kind of lump it all together as Coke.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. What's your favorite? I'm not calling it pop.
All right.
I refuse to change.
219-845-1100.
Yeah, where we
You call
talk
it
about
pop?
ghosts and stuff.
You call it pop
You're
or
gonna
soda?
call pop? Do you call it pop or soda? 219-845-1100.
You call it a before I
This
tell
man,
you.
I want you guys to know, Count Panic and I have been working together for several years. I have never heard him upset.
No, I'm not
Tonight,
upset.
he seems like he's coming at me a little hard.
I'm not upset. But okay, one more thing. Do you call it when you go? Okay, this is a good one. When you go to the grocery store.
Grocery store.
Okay, when you go to the grocery store and you're
Yes.
shopping around
Uh-huh.
and you got a lot of groceries to get. What do you take with you to shop around in? And when it's
A
right
shopping cart.
shopping cart.
Shopping cart. Or just a cart.
Really?
What do you call it?
Buggy. A buggy.
No. All right, we have a caller. Just take it
Wait,
live.
you didn't. Wait, it's a buggy. But here's the thing. You didn't ask me about. I gotta give you my.
Yes,
answer
what's
for
your
pop.
favorite pop
Okay.
flavor?
I
Or
like.
soda flavor. I'm not calling it pop.
I'm the fan of the dark pop, dark soda. I know some people like light soda, like the Sprites and the Sierra
Yes.
Mist, whatever they're calling it now. I prefer the Pepsis and the Cokes of the world. But you know what? I'm gonna go for a novelty here. This is more so a treat more than anything else. But a cherry Coke Zero. A
Cherry Coke Zero?
You know, it's just it's cherry, it's Coke, and it's good for you because it's 0 calories. But other than that, I've been trying to stay away from the actual pop that has calories.
Good
Maybe
for you.
Diet pop or 0 calorie.
Zero
pop.
calorie soda. I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
Or the little cans. I know
Yes.
some people like buying the little cans, which is nice too.
My treat to myself, I occasionally will get a Fountain Dr Pepper.
Fountain Dr.
A
Pepper.
Fountain Dr Pepper.
They got
my favorite.
that vanilla Dr. Pepper now.
I
too.
like vanilla Coke
Vanilla
because I
Coke?
don't drink Pepsi. I like Coke products. It's just
How
kind
about
of the way it works.
How about orange pop?
Slice?
Orange slice, yeah.
That's because what's the other one? Sunkissed.
Sunkissed.
We're a paranormal show.
Well, you brought the questions.
You're the one who decided. Take the call.
The hard hitting
Take
questions.
the call. You're on
asking.
you're on the air, caller.
Hey, what do you say there, Bob?
John, I need you to.
He agrees with me.
John, don't be calling here giving me your lies and slander that you call it pop.
No, I'm going to tell you what, Bob.
Okay, I'm listening, John. I'm listening.
The count calls it pop, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you call it soda, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to go with soda pop. How do you like that?
Now, see, that's long, but at least you're the best of both worlds
Yeah.
there, John.
Because either way, I guess, but I never really thought of it as, one specific or the other. But not siding with the count, but if somebody asked me, what I want to drink in a restaurant, if I don't go with my tea, I'd probably go with a pop, instead
Iced
of
tea?
a soda.
That's fair.
Just not used to saying soda, but
What about a buggy or a shopping cart?
Oh my God.
yeah, buggy or yeah.
Do you call it a buggy or a shopping cart?
Yeah, that's a big controversy too.
What is wrong with you
always
people?
say
It's a Polish thing.
I always
Pol-
say it's
I-
a buggy.
Buggy.
It's a Polish thing.
Buggy.
Do you know who my father was?
He
Polish
never called it a
Andy.
buggy?
No, we called it a cart.
I don't know.
Actually, he might have called it a buggy now that I think about it.
Yeah, that was a big controversy too with the Region Rush Hour at one time, whether it was
Yeah.
a buggy or a cart. But yeah, I would have to say I know this ain't a soda.
It's not a linguistics show by any means.
But I like a Diet Coke, but I'll splurge once in a while and go with a Yahoo Mountain Dew too. So But I know we didn't call it. I know I didn't call it talk about Pop, but I just want to say glad to hear you back
Well,
again,
thanks,
Bob.
John. We appreciate you.
And we'll be listening to you.
Sounds good.
We have it.
Excellent. All right. Do we have another caller?
We do not. But
Okay, folks, we have 5 to go.
It's a heated debate.
5
here.
callers to go.
All right.
Make that happen. All my people in my live stream call 219-845-1100. Anyway, so we split the show up into 2 parts. First part of the episodes, we talk about the news, the spooky news of the week. That's where you, the fans, and me, the Bob, go digging on the internet for the weird and unusual news articles. Anything from ghosts making it into major media, cryptid sightings, UFO encounters, advances in science that borderline on science fiction, or anything to kind of do with the legend in general. And then we dive into the lore of the week, ripped straight from the pages of Dr. Ben Vanderson's diary. So that is, or journal. Journal's the correct term. Right, straight from the journal of Dr. Ben Vanderson, we have the lore of the week. That's the meat and potatoes of the show.
The pop and the soda.
The soda and the bread.
How about, yeah, I'm not going to get into more pop conversation.
No, okay, we're good. So you ready to dive into the news of the week?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. And we do have a caller calling in at 9:30 tonight, by the way. We have a special call in.
This is a planned call.
Well, yeah, it was a planned call, but I'm going to count it towards the 5.
All right, yeah.
So let's get moving here. First story comes to us from NPR. Specifically, we have a caller on the line.
What we can do is this your 9:30?
This is not. They called early. They called early. Oh, hey there, you're on the air.
Hey.
Hi, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Kristen.
Oh, hi, Kristen.
Hey.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Chicago.
Ah, hello, Kristen. Kristen, it's from the Ghostbusters. I have to pretend.
Yeah, it's me.
I have to pretend like I don't know people sometimes to keep the mystery. But hi, Kristen.
You're like Fraser Crane here.
Hey.
What's on your mind tonight?
So I'm a first-time listener, Bob.
Now this is a crime because I've known you for about almost a year now.
Almost a year, yeah.
Yeah.
But you were talking about spooky news recently. That it's an old video, but there's a video of the Annabelle doll. They were moving her from like travel case to main case to fix up the travel case. It's making its rounds again online, and everyone's freaking out. So I was just wondering if you'd heard anything about that recently, or anyone bringing it up. And also, I didn't know that she had a travel case.
I didn't know they took her on the road. I saw something about it, but I thought it was a joke. So apparently that wasn't a joke article, Con. I should have probably reported on that. Now I feel called out. That sounds like important news. To my understanding, she's always sat in the Warrens Museum in her, case. I didn't know they actually ever removed her from that. That's actually terrifying. If any of my fans are listening out there, do not organize to bring her here. I don't want her here.
Oh, so I heard the words "bring her here."
Nope, I don't want to know it. Don't want to hear it. I will tell you, it's interesting. So apparently, it's a real story. Yeah, she's going on tour, and I don't like that. Ed and Lorraine kept her in that case for a reason. You could have your opinions. You could have your opinions about Ed and Lorraine, but Annabelle might be the real deal there, and I don't want anything to do with her.
Well, the guy, it looks like in the video, the 2 guys who were helping move her. And again, I found this video dated, I think it was in 2022, so it's not recent. But the guy, he's explaining, he's like, yeah, so this gentleman here who will be handling her is going to put gloves on because I know Ed, and he told me never touch Annabelle with her bare hands. So whoever it was, he had some sort of like to be doing this, but were both like blessed earlier that day, and then were just like drenching their hands in holy water. They made it so intense. But it's from a few years ago, I guess.
Well, thank you for calling and letting me know that, Kristen. I appreciate you.
Terrifying, man.
Absolutely. Do not make arrangements for Annabelle to stop at the studio.
Make arrangements for. Okay, got it.
Have a good one.
Before we go.
Before we go.
We gotta ask: soda or pop?
Soda. God.
Oh, okay. 100% it's pop, but also it's a shopping cart.
So we're one and one.
One and one. We're keeping score at home for the home game. Thanks, Kristen.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
I like to put my pop inside my buggy.
Do we have another one?
No.
Okay, let's
Put
move
the
on
pop
to the
in
story.
buggy.
Okay, so moving on here for NPR for WBEZ News. Amateur archaeologists uncover mysterious ancient Roman artifact in England. This article comes to us from Adiba Mohtasham, Mohtasham. A group of amateur archaeologists, which, by the way, wouldn't that be a cool thing just to call yourself? I'm an amateur archaeologist. Anyway, a group of amateur archaeologists in England were on their second to last day of excavation last June when they discovered a find of a lifetime, a mysterious ancient artifact called a dodecahedron at a possible Roman site. A dodecahedron is a circular copper alloy object between the size of a golf ball and a grapefruit, characterized by its 12-sided form with various holes and knobs. But its function remains unclear. Even though more than 100 have been found across Europe, the Norton Disney History and Archaeology Club, the organization behind the latest find, describes the dodecahedron as one of the archaeology's greatest enigmas, which is kind of fascinating. That is largely because there are no known visual or written descriptions of the dodecahedron in Roman literature. By the way, I keep flip-flopping the word because I'm partially dyslexic and it's tough to get it out there. It's a dodecahedron, Dodecahedra.
Sure.
It's a 12-sided object. The dodecahedron is in my brain what's coming out, but it's not that word. I'm sorry. But according to Lorena Hitchens, a doctoral student in the UK studying all the Roman shapes, that specific shape of Europe, there are many unproven theories about its use as a gauge, rangefinder, candlestick, a die for gambling or gaming, knitting gloves, for example. She says that none of these theories are supported by evidence. A huge amount of time, energy, and skill were taken to create this particular shape, so it was not used for mundane purposes, reads Norton Disney website. They say that this object was most likely used for ritual and religious purposes. Roman society was so full of superstitions, something experienced on a daily basis, continues the website. A potential link with local religious practice is currently our current working theory. More investigation is required, though. What makes this latest discovery unique is not only that the object was found fully intact and in excellent condition, but also that is the only example uncovered in the central region of England known as the Midlands. Most of the found shapes have been discovered in chunks, as in they've broken over time, but this is fully intact. Additionally, it was found where it was deliberately put 1,700 years ago for whatever reason, says Richard Parker, Secretary of Norton Disney. Many of the known examples are discovered from their fine context, having been prized by collectors since the 18th century at least, says Hitchens. There are a lot of horse trading of these objects in Victorian era and with poor record keeping of said trading. The archaeological group revealed the discovery in a BBC archaeology program called Digging for Britain earlier this month. It is currently on display at the National Civil War Center at the Newark Museum in England. The Norton Disney Group will return to the excavation site this year to find out more about the circumstances surrounding this particular shape. Hashtag #PanicsTake.
Yeah, so again, there's a lot more investigation to be done, it sounds like here, correct?
Yes.
But what's that word? How do you say it again? It's 12 sides.
It's a 12-sided shape. A dough. I can't get it. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I don't even know what that looks like.
It's a 12-sided die. So, think of it's a 12-sided shape.
12-sided, just, okay.
Yeah, so it's a 12-sided shape. That's the exact word for it.
Okay.
And I know people are like, well, Bob, you should be able to pronounce this. And I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not. I play a scientist on TV, guys.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, again, there's a lot more.
I think it's interesting, and it's pretty wild that this is 1,700 years old, and the thing is perfectly intact.
Yeah.
So
how does that happen?
I'm calling it alien artifact.
Okay.
That's what I'm calling
We'll
it.
go with that. I'll agree with
And
you.
look, these people said they couldn't figure out what it was used for mundane reasons if they're calling it a religious object.
Yeah.
And if it came from the Roman Empire, I don't know. I'm going to call it an alien artifact.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
You ready for our next news story?
Yeah.
All right, next news story comes to us from Oddity Central, which all of these articles are always written by user Spooky. I wish I can give you better credit than that, but that's how you sign your articles. Title of this is Russian Man Uses ChatGPT to find love online, and it goes viral. A 23-year-old Russian man recently revealed that he trained and used ChatGPT to filter through 5,239 girls' dating profiles and then date the best matches until he found his soon-to-be wife. Alexander Zahadin first made waves on Runet, the online Russian-speaking community, a year ago when he tweeted that he wrote an academic thesis using ChatGPT in just 23 hours. A few days ago, the young Russian IT professional once again made news headlines, this time for using the same AI tool to filter through thousands of online dating profiles and replying on its tips and advice to find the perfect partner and then make her his wife. Zahadin's story, originally told through this series of posts on Twitter, has sparked a heated debate on the morality of using AI tools to find love online. And while this 23-year-old admits that his story could change how others see online dating, he did point out that ChatGPT has its limitations and he needed to get involved personally to connect with his dates. It all started when Alexander's disappointing experience with popular online dating websites like Tinder. He would swipe left, swipe right, and then spark conversation with a potential match, and then that person would just disappear. Ghost him, if you will. Badoots. It was a huge waste of time, but having become familiar with ChatGPT, he wondered if there was a way to use the AI tool to make his online dating experience more efficient. Zahadin began by using the AI to go through a whopping 5,239 dating profiles to remove those he felt like wouldn't click with the basis of a number of filters, like having fewer than 2 profile photos, astrology references, religious preferences, pro-war statements, as well as overtly revealing photos. He felt like this was an important part of the process for both him and the girls, and they weren't wasting their time interacting. Then became the hard part, training ChatGPT to communicate with the remaining potential matches on his behalf. In an interview with Settlers Media, Alexander said that it took him about 120 hours of work to get an AI tool to get where he was satisfied with. To do this, he fed it previous conversations with girls, set up response validation, and monitored the tool as much as possible, and still the experience wasn't perfect. One time, ChatGPT set him up on a date with a girl without actually notifying him about it, which led to the girl having to wait for over an hour and a half with him, which he still deeply regrets. While another time, the AI program scheduled a date with Moscow's Bista Park, a forest in Moscow where infamous serial killer dumped his victims' bodies back in the early 2000s. All in all, ChatGPT helped Zahadin go on 12 dates with the best matches that it could find, including one with Katerina, his future bride. The AI tool was involved in the dating process as well, advising the 23-year-old to talk about his childhood, parents' goals, and values during the dates, to best assess how suitable each candidate was for a long-term relationship. The Russian man claims that he even asked ChatGPT how to provide Karina and got a yes to its suggestion. Alexander clarified that he did play a part in the selection process as he reviewed each interaction he had with the girls he dated and fed experience to ChatGPT for an objective assessment. We must not forget about emotional interaction, he says. I went to meetings. I was already involved with myself. I assessed whether the girl was suitable for me or not. Based on the results of the date, I made a review, what I liked, what I didn't, and added it to the database. Then it made a decision whether to continue communicating or not. The wife has yet to make a comment about his use on using ChatGPT. I just had to let that marinate for a second.
Got it, yeah.
But the IT professional claims that he told her about it, and she's still with him, so it must not have been that big of a deal. After spending 120 hours and approximately $1,432 in AP cost, Alexander feels like ChatGPT saved him a lot of time and money. Hashtag Panics Take the AI Takeover is now giving dating advice.
It is indeed. Well, you know what, the AI, as far as that goes, the ChatGPT, all that stuff is kind of spooky in its own right. It kind of deserves its own maybe tale there because it's getting pretty progressive as time goes on with tech.
Well, we talked about Sophie a couple times,
Yeah.
right? And that's, we always talk about, she got the right to vote. The AI bot that's
right.
the moving around at least its head and whatnot became a citizen, has the right to vote. Now we're at the point where these things will set up your dates for you and pick out your perfect partner.
How about that?
And it's interesting because it brings up the concept of love. Is love an actual emotion that's felt at random, or is it, can you break love down into zeros and ones for a computer to help you figure out? That is a traumatic idea, if you ask me.
And on one more note, because I know we got probably our phone call right here.
Yeah.
Speaking of dating sites, what happened to the Bob After Dark cryptid?
The paranormal dating site. We never.
No.
I never launched the paranormal dating site.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. We'll take the caller. I'm sure it's my 9:30.
It's got to be, right?
Hi, caller. You're on the air.
Hey there, Dr. Bob. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And is this my 9:30?
It is your 9:30.
It's like a
This
doctor.
is, Dr. Daniel Carruthers there.
Hello, Dr. Daniel
With the Circle
Carruthers.
City Ghostbusters.
I am sorry I'm running a little bit behind tonight. We, my lovely producer and I got into an argument about whether you call just in case he didn't hear this part.
Yeah.
Dr. Carruthers, what is a carbonated drink that you drink at dinner time? What do you call that liquid?
Beer?
The other one. It's either dark or light. It's a carbonated drink you can order at a restaurant at all ages.
Soda.
What is soda?
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
got him.
Oh.
I called soda. My producer calls it pop. And some stupid
I say
nonsense.
pop,
okay.
pop.
And
Well,
so
you guys are
I
in
apologize
Illinois,
for
so
running
I
a
mean-
little late here, sir.
I did used to date a girl from Illinois, and she called it pap as well.
Gotta call it.
So I understand. It wasn't pop with a P with an O. It was pap, like a P.
That's
So I don't
different.
That is the
Yeah.
correct enunciation. I guess I'm just the bad Chicagoan I am. So Dr.
You guys got a great
Carruthers,
hot dog.
yeah, right. Dr. Carruthers is calling us tonight about, was supposed to be intended for the lore of the week, but we're running a little wonky on time. But the lore of the
That's all
week
right.
this week is going to be based on some stuff in Indiana, specifically haunted bridges. And because we're talking about a haunted thing in our home state of Indiana, who else to talk about Indiana hauntings than a member of the Circle City Ghostbusters?
Excellent. Correct.
Yes, Dr. Carruthers, tell us a little bit about who the Circle City Ghostbusters are.
Well, the Circle City Ghostbusters we're official 501c charity organization. We have been a group for 10 years now. This is our 10-year anniversary coming up in 2024.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We are 39 members strong. No job is too big. No fee is too big. We do a lot of charity work for the Dayspring Center, the Gleaners Food Bank, Indiana Youth Group, Children's Museum, amongst many others. We have raised over $13,000 raised for 2023 this year. We have 977 hours volunteer time logged for this year. And we're all about it. We love the Ghostbusters, and we're here to help.
All right, so that's really wonderful. And so, folks, if you're listening to this, and if you guys, most of my fans do know that I hang out with the Windy City Ghostbusters of Chicago, but I'm also a member of the Circle City Ghostbusters in Indianapolis, and that's why I wanted to give you guys a high five on this. If people are interested, because this is going to get centered in the Googles for mostly probably Indiana folk, where can people find out about the Circle City Ghostbusters?
You can find out about us at CircleCityGhostbusters.com. You can look us up on Facebook, Circle City Ghostbusters. If you are not in the proximity of a device that will let you get on the internet, you can always pick up a phone and call us at 317-983-2368.
Oh, that's
And-
excellent.
Yeah. So we have several different ways you can get a hold of us.
So I'm going to spoil the lore of the week for you guys a little earlier because Dr. Carruthers took out some time, and he's on that fancy East Coast time that takes up like an hour after. So I don't want to keep him on the phone too long. But so Dr. Carruthers, let's say there is a haunted bridge. How does a Ghostbuster bust a haunted bridge?
Well, I'd say first of all, we would need to, show up at the proximity of the haunted bridge, find out a little bit about the bridge, and then we would go from there as far as staking out the area and taking it in for ourselves and seeing if the lore or, whatever it is true. And then we would take it from there. We'd have to break out our equipment. And luckily we got our, good buddy back at the lab, Nick, working on a lot of new high-tech stuff for us to be able to bust these newfangled ghosts. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but, as the technology grows, the ghosts do too. They kind of go with that. So we kind of got to stay on our toes with that.
That's great to know. Thank you so much for calling in, Dr. Carruthers. And again, folks, check out the Circle City Ghostbusters wherever you find your social media at.
Thank you, Bob.
No problem.
You have a great rest of your
And
night. Thanks for
you have a good one. We're ready to believe you, Dr. Carruthers. See, that was
excellent.
That was good, Count Panic. See, that's how it's done.
How about that?
Yeah, great. Circle City Ghostbusters, good friends of
Check 'em
mine,
out.
some of the finest Ghostbusters in the country. I highly recommend you give them a call sometime.
Right now.
All right, so back to the last news story of the week. It comes to us from The Mirror. Mirror, and that's an UK-based, I believe, tabloid system. But anyway, this is written by Emma Rowbottom, and it's a distressed mom claims ghost saved her baby's life by alerting her to danger. A woman has told how her grandmother's supernatural encounter in the 60s led to her saving the life of her auntie when she was just a baby. After revealing her grandma had lived in a haunted apartment for a short while her father was young and her auntie had just been born, she told how she had noticed a lot of weird things occurring in the house, but never felt threatened or scared. However, one night, while everyone was asleep and her husband, the girl's grandfather, was out, her grandmother said that she heard her name being called, and with the calling becoming louder and louder, and the second time the voice said, "Check the baby," and the woman said. Her grandma admitted that this prompted her to run and check on the baby, only to find out that the newborn had managed to wrap the blanket around her neck and was starting to choke. This was back in the late 60s, before anyone knew that blankets were causing infant deaths, she said. They saved my aunt's life that night, whoever they are. Telling the spooky story on Reddit prompted many readers to recall their own supernatural encounters, while many were shocked at her own tale. "Wow, she had a guardian angel. Very cool," said one Redditor, and another one commented, "This was the hand of God." Another suggested that they could have been ancestors. Ancestors come with many blessings and guidance. They help us in navigating life, and you can call on them for help. It's a good to thank them and acknowledge them, said one reader, while another recalled how many unexplained things had also happened to her. Some were very paranormal and some were more subtle. I'm a believer and believe what we do and can get for help from higher powers. We need more benevolent ghost stories. Hashtag Panic Steak.
Yeah, no, for sure. And right, there's a variety of tales out there. It's kind of our job, Bob, is to sift through the ones that we think are real and worth it, basically, at the end of the day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, my ghosts always just bug me. I don't get any, like,
No?
Dad's come through a couple times giving me a hand, but mostly he just annoys me.
Yeah.
You know, he'll come through and, like, wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's usually the time, right? That,
Yeah, I hear him walking through. He'll cough, clear his throat, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But, yeah, absolutely. I like stories like that.
Yeah.
Not every ghost story has to be scary. Sometimes you just need a good ghost story to save a kid's life, right?
Yeah. And this one seems like it's true.
All right. Folks, are you ready to take a quick break?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. Folks, for our live fans, stick around. And for our podcast fans, you're about to be hearing words from a podcast that you should be listening to. Stay tuned. Oh, hey there, children of the night, and welcome to Bob After Dark, the show that takes you into the shadows and goes and says a little everything that goes bumping at night. I'm your host with the most that enjoys toast, Bob, and alongside of me, as always, is my ever wonderful, ever vampiric, ever cape-wearing, and the heartthrob of Bob After Dark, my friend, my brother, my producer, Count Panic himself. Oh, hey there, Count Panic.
Oh, hey, Bob. Yes, back here on Bob After Dark, kind of an exclusive podcast, of course, as always, but Jed TV.
Jed TV Live, yes.
You know, we get bumped around for the basketball this time of year, so but happy to have people on the podcast, as well as those listeners watching, I should say, on the Jed TV.
Absolutely. Folks, if this is your first time ever watching and or listening to Bob After Dark, we are your weekly show where we talk about legends, lore, supernatural, things that go bumping at night, lights in the sky, weird cryptid stories, and of course, Count Panic's favorite soup.
Favorite soup, Bob? You know, when the area we live in, big lemon rice community in the area we live in. And although I rank it pretty high up there, I mean, I like there's a few, right? Lemon rice is really good. Clam chowder is a classic. A good tomato soup. You can't beat a good tomato soup as well. I float around maybe a few of those right there. You know, some of the classics, Bob. Nothing too wonky. You know, there's all these new age soups out there. And I don't.
What is a new age soup?
Well, like,
hold on. We need to have a conversation. What is a new age soup?
Like they put everything in, like the tortillas and there's some soups that weren't common to order back in the day, and now they're very common. But simple, you know, for the sake of the region we live in, let's lock in lemon rice right there, shall we? A classic of the area.
That is fair.
How about you?
What do I like?
Yeah,
So I am a fan of two. One, I'm from Northwest Indiana and the South Side. And we're back. Oh, hey there, Count Panic.
Oh, hey there, Bob.
How are you?
Doing good. You?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you do during break?
Bob, during the break, I tasted every single pop/soda known to man.
Oh.
Everyone. Everything. All the flavors. Light, dark, orange, what have you. Tasted them all.
So would you like to know what I did during break?
What did you do?
Maybe you heard about it, but I actually ran for president of the world.
President of the world?
I ran for president of the world and I won.
You won?
And I only decreed one thing before resigning.
What? You resigned already?
I resigned already. It wasn't I had to get back to the show.
Yeah.
So I ran for president of the world and I won, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you get the idea. I ran and I only made one decree.
What'd you decree?
We outlawed the word pop meant for carbonated drinks.
No more
now
pop?
Everybody calls it soda.
Soda.
You could call it soda pop if you
soda
want.
Pop?
I'll give John one, but you could call it a soda pop.
How about this one? We didn't think about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Cola. What do we think
No!
about cola?
I,
Can I get some cola?
That's a weird one. I've never met somebody who called it cola. But yeah, no, that was my one decree.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Guess it's done then.
It's done.
Case closed.
Case closed.
Yeah.
So this would have been the part where we would have picked up the phone for Dr. Carruthers and we would have been like, haunted bridges, blah, 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 blah. But it didn't work out.
Well, it's still the same show.
It's still the same show, and we appreciate that. You know, being a Ghostbuster myself, I really get a chance to appreciate like what a lot of these groups are doing. You know, us in Windy City, we raise money for the Laura Beatus Children's Hospital.
There you have it.
And you know, a lot of these groups do a lot of good for charity. And because I was covering something in Indiana for once, I'm like, I'm gonna get them on the phone. I want to give them a quick shout out.
Yeah.
So I recommend all my fans go out and check out the Circle City Ghostbusters. Thanks for taking time out of your day to give us a call.
Please.
I am going to start this piece of lore in a very ghostly podcast way of telling a ghost story.
Really?
Yes, not one that I ever wrote.
Okay.
This one's actually from David B. Jolly on Medium.com.
Oh.
Greencastle, Indiana. James and Sarah Collins were a young couple who lived in a rural area near Greencastle, Indiana. The two were young and enterprising, willing to work in a short time, managed to find both a job in a local shoe factory. They lived near Walnut Creek, and James had built a bridge over Walnut Creek and named it after his fourth daughter, Edna. What should we do with Edna? Said John. We both cannot work if one can watch Edna. The Collins shift began early in the afternoon and ended at 8 p.m., and the Jameses could not afford a babysitter for Edna. Why can't I just play down by the creek while you and Mom work? Said Edna. It would be fun. That may not be a bad idea, but what do you think, Sarah? Said James. I'm not really sure about that, said Sarah, looking at Edna. Please, 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 jumped Edna with excitement. Well, I guess we can give it a try. You just promise me that you will not talk to strangers or wander off, said Sarah. Yeah, Edna ran from the room screaming. Edna loved to swim in Walnut Creek. The Collins would let Edna play in the creek where other children also played while they were working. Not every day, but sometimes, and she played there for 8 hours before. The first day of the routine, James stopped at the bridge. Edna, when we return, we will honk the horn 3 times. You need to listen to us, okay? Okay, Edna replied, and take care, honey, said Sarah. We love you. This had become a familiar scene across the country. James came by across the county. James came by car, sounded the horn, and Edna entered the car. Edna, however, would sometimes be the last child there, even after all the other children left, and Edna said she didn't mind. I have lots of fun, she replied. James and Sarah were not always happy about this, but the Greencastle area was a quiet area, and they allowed Edna to play in the creek. One evening, James and Sarah pulled up to the bridge and honked 3 times. Edna did not come. James and Sarah began panicking, and they called out to her, but the girl was gone. Edna, Edna, Edna! There was no reply. James and Sarah went to the town for help, and the whole area mobilized to look for her, but Edna was nowhere to be found. The next morning, the sheriff found the ribbon that Edna always wore in her hair on the bed of the stream, but no trace of the girl. My baby! My little Edna! Cried Sarah. Edna had vanished into nothingness, and Sarah suffered a nervous breakdown and accused James of the disappearance. The couple divorced after a while, and James took to heavy drinking, lost his job in the house. Sarah cried every night. She would have visited the bridge frequently, and one particular night Sarah went to the bridge looking for Edna. Where are you, baby? She cried. Mommy will find you. Just wait for me. Sarah tied a rope that she had brought with her around her neck, and Mommy's coming, baby, and you know the rest of that. To date, the death of Edna is still a mystery, the body never found. Many forgot the little girl with the passage of time. They forgot the mother who loved her daughter enough to follow her into death to comfort her. But they still may be there. Shadows may be seen crossing the bridge or under the bridge, and in fact, it is said that if you honk your horn 3 times on a certain night, a little girl will get in your back seat for you to take her home. Handprints can sometimes be found on the doors and windows after you cross that damn bridge. Is it Sarah? Is it Edna? Or is it something else? Thanks, David B. Jolly, for that, as we paint the scene for the episode tonight. We have a caller.
We do.
Take a caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Who is this?
So this is the other John again.
Oh, hello, other John. Wisconsin John.
John.
Wisconsin John.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I can't compete with that John, so I feel like I should just go by a different name.
You're going to change your name?
I will call him Wisconsin
you can call
John.
me by my YouTube name.
Oh, what's your YouTube name?
It's Windstorm.
Okay, well,
There
we
you
can call
go.
you Windstorm.
Yeah, that sounds great.
What's on your mind tonight, John? Wisconsin John? I'm going to call you
Windstorm.
Wisconsin
I'm
John
actually-
regardless.
Yeah, I'm actually joining in a little late, so I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen to this episode.
Oh, it's
Totally
like almost
forgot.
there's a podcast version of the show for you to go and do that.
Yeah, that would be nice, huh?
Yes. So what's on your mind tonight, Wisconsin John?
Not much. I just wanted to call in and say, you guys are awesome. I appreciate everything you're doing. I've been hooked ever since I discovered you guys way back in 2019.
Oh, well, thank you so much for the
Very
call. We
nice.
appreciate you.
Yes.
Yeah, no problem, Bob.
Oh,
You
well,
and Panic are awesome.
oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Panic's okay. When he calls the... Hold on. John, are you still with us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't.
Carbonated drink at dinner that you can order at any age. It's a carbonated drink. What do you call it?
So I would call it soda.
Ooh.
He calls it soda.
Calls it soda.
He calls it soda. Team Bob, baby.
That's 2 in a row for you.
That's 2 in a row.
That's 2 in a row
That's
for
2 in a
you.
row.
So Panic is pop.
Yes,
I
you
say
missed
pop.
our
I say pop.
like 10-minute argument at the beginning of the show.
This was basically the whole episode.
This is the whole episode. This is the
My dad's side is a lot of them are in the southern area, so there's pop going on there for that.
Pop.
Soda, man.
I guess.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Wisconsin John. We appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Take care, Bob. Have
You
a good
too.
one.
Have a good one.
Take care.
We need 3 more callers.
Well, we got one
We have
more.
another.
Yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
need 2 more callers. You're on the air, caller. Take it live.
Hello.
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hey there, Bob. How you doing? How you doing, my good Bob?
Oh, I'm doing good there. Who are you?
If I call you my good Bob, you don't know who I am?
No.
It's Rudy.
Oh, Rudy, thank you for calling in. What's on your mind tonight, Rudy?
Just saying, I've listened to a handful of your guys' shows recently. I've been enjoying the stuff. It's very informative and it's very fun. Very enjoyable material you guys have there.
Oh, well, thank you, Rudy. We appreciate it. Where are you calling from, by the way? Because my producer doesn't know who you are.
Chicago.
Excellent.
Chicago.
Well, Rudy from Chicago, thank you so much for calling in. Before we let you go, I think you already private messaged me this because you're a friend, but a drink you can order at all ages at a restaurant. What do you order? What's it called?
Soda.
Oh man, 3 in a row.
Team Bob, baby.
I think I'm outnumbered here.
And if it's not soda, it's Coke because it's usually the darker one.
Oh,
so,
no.
yeah.
Well, wait a second here.
Okay,
If you go-
no,
soda.
great.
But say you want to say the place only has Pepsi and you order a Coke, you're going to confuse them.
I'll say that's fine.
Okay.
It's not brain surgery. I'm just bring me something cold to drink.
Yeah. Sometimes they get confused in those establishments, but okay.
You are correct.
We'll put you in the soda category here.
Thank you, Rudy, for calling in.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
appreciate you.
Put soda in my shopping cart.
A shopping cart. Oh,
shopping
that's.
cart.
Ooh.
Oh, we gotta ask everybody about that question. I guess, too.
Thank you so much, Rudy. We appreciate you.
Have a good night.
You too.
I prefer pop in the buggy. Pop in the buggy.
We only need 2 more calls before we hit the Bob After Dark record.
7?
7. 6 is the record. 7 breaks the
So
record. We're at 5 right now.
we're at 5. Okay.
We're at 5.
I
7
lost track.
So we're at 5 callers. We need
Okay.
2 more to go. 219-845-1100.
There you have it.
All right. So anyway, I wanted to that story I just read you. What'd you think? Sets the mood, right?
Sets the mood here, Bob.
Sets the mood. I was doing some research into the concept of haunted Indiana places, right? And Indiana's got some interesting legend. It is our home state after all, home of corn, soybeans, lima beans, Indiana Beach, and a race car track. Steel. Yeah.
Corn and steel. Steel corn.
You know, as I get older, I tell people just on the sake of argument, I'm from Chicago because the city I live in, I could throw a rock and hit Chicago from my house, and I'm not joking about that.
Yeah.
So I just tell people I live in Chicago for argument's sake, but legally I am an Indiana resident. And it's an interesting thing to say out loud about being an Indiana resident because people are like, what's there to do in Indiana? And I look at them and I say nothing.
Wow.
There's stuff to do in Indiana.
We live in a part of Indiana where there's
stuff to
going
do,
on,
and then you got Indianapolis, you got the Circle City
Stuff going
Ghostbusters,
on
we have
there,
Gen
too.
Con in Indiana,
and in between it's corn.
and in between it's all corn and Purdue.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Giant windmills.
But the one thing though, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have even just probably like 40 minutes away from us, right in like Hobart, Chesterton, Portage area. Do you want to know what still stands to this day and you can actually go and see it? Are Covered Bridges.
Isn't there a Covered Bridge Festival?
There is the Covered
too?
Bridge Festival that's not super far away from here.
Yeah, it's a big
So one of the most like iconic Indiana things I have in my brain as far as driving around and seeing one particular location is the concept of a covered bridge or just a bridge in general. So tonight on Bob After Dark, we are talking a little bit about some weird haunted bridge stories, specifically in Indiana.
All right.
We have a caller.
To tie it here, Bob.
Tying the record. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Bob, this is Cole from
Hi, Cole.
Indianapolis.
Hello, Cole from Indianapolis.
I just wanted to chime in on 2 topics here that you're talking about. One, another good haunted place in Indiana, French Lick, Indiana.
French Lick, Indiana. What's going on in French Lick, Indiana, Cole?
The French Lick Springs Hotel is supposedly haunted down there.
Who's haunting it?
So, I'm not quite sure who. There's many different stories out there. It's an old resort, I believe, back in maybe the 1920s or early 1900s there. They've revamped it now. It's very nice down there. I suggest you go down there. And I also wanted to state that down in southern Indiana, we called it soft drinks.
Soft drink. What kind of soft drink do you have? That's interesting.
Yep.
I like that.
I've heard
anyway,
that
I didn't want to detract from your stories too much, but I wanted to chime in for you.
So when you go to the restaurant,
you
say,
got, what kind of
"Have a
soft drink do you
drinks."
have?
Yeah, wow.
That's interesting. I go to Indy several times a year. I've never called it a soft drink. Those people probably think I'm crazy.
I should state that I am from southern Indiana originally.
Oh, okay. So you're
Moving
close.
Maybe that's where I got it.
That's fair. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Cole. We appreciate you.
Yeah, have a good evening.
You too.
All right.
Do we break the record?
Well, that was tying the record.
That's
right?
tying the record. We're tied
I
right
lost
now.
track,
So one more caller breaks the record. 219-845-1100.
It can't be somebody that already called.
No, it can't. John cannot call with a lovely Polish accent, pretending to be what was his name, Polish Pride, Paulie Plavik or something. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about tonight is the concept of haunted bridges, and specifically here in Indiana, where we're from, because there are several haunted bridges here. So the first one refers to that story I just read about Edna Collins' is the haunted covered bridge. So Edna was built around 1922 as the bridge itself, and it was called the Edna Bridge in Putnam County, Indiana. And it was built to span in 1922 across the Little Walnut Creek, and it replaced a concrete bridge that was washed out by high water. Local lore claims that it's haunted by a mother and child. The most common tale is that a little girl by the name of Edna Collins lived nearby, frequently swam at the Little Walnut Creek. Her parents would drop her off on their way to town, and when they returned, would honk 3 times to let her know when it was time to leave. One day, Edna failed to respond to the horn, and upon searching the creek, she was found to have drowned. Circumstances concerning her death are unknown. Variations of the story have her mother following in her death, grieving over the loss of her child, said that she hung herself. Another tale says that Edna's father, who was the one who built the bridge after the death of both of his wife in memory of them. The routine you must follow to see the spirit of Edna begins with driving onto the bridge. There, you turn your engine and honk 3 times. So if you turn off your car, park in the middle of the bridge, honk 3 times. And if you follow the pattern of her parents, Edna is supposed to appear and try to get in the car with you. Some witnesses have found child-sized handprints on their car and heard the laughter of a little girl nearby. To encounter her mother, take a piece of rope supposedly hanging from the sign of a nearby church. Once on the bridge, it's said that you will summon a shadowy figure. Do we break the record?
Bob, I got to tell you.
You got to tell me something.
I think we have broken the record.
Tell me that's a royalty-free song that you just a royalty-free sound.
Bell.
But it was a royalty-free bell.
Royalty-free, Bob.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm not paying royalties for a bell noise. Who is our record breaker tonight? Who broke the Bob After Dark call-in record? You're on the air.
It's Frank from Joliet.
Hello, Frank from Joliet. Thank you so much for calling in. What's on your mind tonight?
No problem. Not much. I just listened to the fun, creepy bridge stories, man, and enjoying it.
Oh, thank you so much. I got to ask you. You're at a restaurant, and you're the age of 9 years old, and you were able to order this drink. What kind of drink do you call that? It's dark. It's carbonated, sometimes dark, sometimes light.
I'm a Coke guy, so it's always been Coke.
So you just say, "Can I order a Coke?"
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, I'd say soda.
Soda. Another soda, though. Wow.
Ooh,
where's my pop people? All the pop people calling after this. Break the record some more here.
I keep breaking. Frank, you broke the record from Joliet. Tell me that was royalty-free. Thank you. I hope you keep enjoying the spooky bridge stories, Frank.
You got it, bud. Anytime.
Thank you so much for calling in. We broke a record tonight.
Does he get is there an award?
I will give him a Coke. Give that man a Coke.
Give that man a
Give
Coke.
him a can of Coke.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Give the man a Coke.
Deserves a Coke.
Thank you, Frank from Joliet. We broke a record. That's exciting. The lucky number 7 tonight.
How about that?
We still have time in the episode. We could hit double digits, but let's move on. Talking a little bit more about the Edna Collins Bridge. So, as you know, you look at things like when you any kind of local legend is going to have different stories to it no matter where you go. So in this case, you're supposed to go on the bridge, turn your car off, honk 3 times, and the ghost of Edna appears. The other one, which is way more harder to accomplish, is you're supposed to get a piece of rope from a church, and then place it on your car, and then a shadowy figure comes to you.
I've heard about this. I don't know if it's
But you've heard about this bridge.
Yeah, you know what?
So I didn't know this, but you
Yeah.
know this.
I've heard about this because there used to
Okay.
be. It's Indiana, right?
Yes,
So
it's in Pollock County.
There used to be a website. I forgot what it was, where you look at haunted places in Indiana. It was just like you could tell it was from the old days because it was like a weird blue background, like you know how old websites.
Oh,
look.
sure, of course.
But they would have-
GeoCities.
Yeah, they
The
had
Bob After Dark website because it needs to get redone really bad.
But they had like little dancing skeletons and like.
Oh yeah, man, those are the best though, right?
But they would have kind of like supposed haunted places in Indiana, and they mentioned this bridge here, Bob, about flashing your lights and whatnot. It's kind of spooky though if you try it. I'm sure. I never tried it. How far you think from us?
That it's a hike. It is out in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. So
Yes,
we're looking at
I have
sometime.
one close by.
Yeah.
That we'll talk about later. By the way, there's very hard to find any historical truth to the Edna story.
Okay.
That's
you're
there's-
debunking it right
there, it's. I'm not saying it's debunked. I'm just saying that it sounds like a bunch of kids throughout the years were telling stories about a bridge, or it was a bunch of parents telling the kids about their bridge to stay away from their creek.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I'm not one to disprove ghost stories count panic. You know me, I'm a believer, man. Yeah. But I'm going to call things out when local legend doesn't have a news article to back it up. Then you kind of have a little bit of a hard time.
Yep.
And if there is a ghost girl out there by the name of Edna, it might be a tulpa. You might have thought about it too much, and then you made it come true. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So just tossing that out there. It's a fascinating thing. And it's even better because Count Panic, we have some photos from an investigation.
Yeah, so let's see here. So you're watching live on the Jed TV. I'll pop these up here. These are photos of the bridge in question here, right, Bob?
Yep, so that's the red covered bridge. Okay. That's what it would look like during the daytime.
Okay.
So this was done by the ghostresearch.org investigations website. They don't have a ton of information about when they did this particular investigation, but it was done in Greencastle, Indiana. They give the exact coordinates to where the bridge is. I believe the name of it now is called the Burr Arch Bridge. It's 80 feet long, or 24 meters for our friends across the pond. Built in 1922, and this bridge is supposedly built by somebody named Charles Hendricks. And this was also the last covered bridge to be built in Putnam County, Indiana. And ironically, it was replaced a concrete bridge that was washed by high water. And it's also called the Baby Bridge due to its length and age. So if you look at some of the photos that these people did,
this one here.
By the way, this investigation, these photos came to us on August 4th, 2018, by a whole team of investigators from the Crawford County, Illinois Ghost Hunters.
Now look at this is at night here. We're
Yeah, it's real spooky, ain't it?
But look at the craftsmanship of the bridge. That's pretty good.
Man, you can't even get a concrete bridge in the city of Chicago to look that nice these days.
So that's the inside there. I don't see anything too.
So there is one photo that they took that has a weird almost figure in it. It's the top one, Count Panic. You get the very front one.
Okay, so this is the another
daytime one.
shot
So it's
there.
one of the nighttime ones.
Maybe over here.
And one more.
Okay, well let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
One here. I'll zoom in. There might be something that was missed here, Bob. Let's check it out.
Yeah. I didn't see anything in that one when I looked. It is eerie, though. You
Mm.
go there at night. Yeah. I don't advise anybody to go on a country road at night and stand in the middle of a bridge, because I guarantee you people are still using that bridge.
Okay,
now that's the image in front of me that's a little
blurry, though.
A little blurry. They don't really... They don't really talk about it in what they found in this particular thing, but seems to be something in the middle of that shot.
But is that a human or is that?
Is that a human person, shadow person? They don't tell you.
Yeah, because look, it looks like it could be the two legs here.
Exactly. So that's interesting.
Somebody
to say
wearing
the
a cowboy
least.
hat. I don't know. But
also, I need to point out that I appreciated the concept that you have to honk the horn 3 times, get a piece of rope. That's how you get the ghost to be summoned.
Yeah, honk 3 times.
Absolutely. All right. So, you ready to move on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So our next bridge story comes to us from Hendricks County, and this is the Screaming Bridge in Avon, Avon, Indiana, which is a little bit south of Indianapolis. I'm reading this from the visithendrickscounty.com website. The legend goes that the great town looked very different than what it does today. hold on, I just lost my train
Sure.
of thought. They were talking about Pizza King, by the way. Shout out to the Circle City Ghostbusters and Pizza King. I've actually eaten there before. So any hoozles, back to the story here is that the legend of the Screaming Bridge is there's this bridge. It's got 3 arches underneath it, and it goes along an entire way. It says that a mother had been walking with her baby on the tracks and both fell to their deaths. The mother's wailing for her infant could still be heard when you drive under the bridge, so in an effort to muffle her screams, you are to honk every time you go under that bridge. And the writer of this article, Erica Bethel, says that to this day, when her dad lives there and still drives there. They wrote this article back in 2022. So I guess the locals that believe in the legend of the screaming woman at the Screaming Bridge, you're supposed to honk when you enter it, and she won't scream at you. Imagine being 6 years old and hearing the story of the crazy haunted bridge, which is just down the street from your brand new house. Super creepy. And little did this writer know that at a young age, the treasure was that the town was well as Hendricks County. The bridge is a fascinating landmark in Hendricks County with lots of local legend and history surrounding it. One only mentions the haunted bridge to another Hendricks County resident, and they know exactly where it is and probably some of the legends surrounding it. The bridge is even memorialized in Avon Town Seal and can be found in numerous paintings and photographs in relation to not only Avon but the county as a whole. The bridge has become so famous that driving under it made Indianapolis Monthly's list of 50 things every Hoosier must do.
Wow.
So what makes this bridge haunted other than the story of the woman and her baby dying, you might ask? So, a few historical facts about the bridge that we do know. The historical landmark was built in 1906 off of Country Road 625 East, about a half a mile south of US 36 for the Big 4 Railroad, and it's still used today by CSX. The bridge was designed using spardrel arches by engineer W.M. Doon, and it is reported that the bridge was double-tracked in 1908. While there are several legends about why the bridge is haunted, a fairly well-known one exists to this day. One story has circulated for years that of a drunken railroad worker who slipped during the construction was buried alive in the wet cement. The tale is that when the train goes over the bridge, people could still hear his moaning. A similar story that was told among the local folks is the story explains that the young mother was walking the tracks to take her sick baby to the doctor when she slipped and fell from the bridge, killing both of her and her baby. At night, the sounds of the mother could still be heard, and that's why you're supposed to honk to drown out that noise. So that's pretty interesting stuff, huh?
No, for sure. And the fact that it's a scream now here, Bob, is even more terrifying.
It's called the Screaming Bridge.
The Screaming Bridge. Now, that's not what I got here, right? The audio, because I do have audio for something here.
You do, yes.
That's not the Screaming Bridge. I don't pull that up now, though, right?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Do you remember what story you're bringing that up for?
I got it ready, though.
Okay, yes, okay.
Yeah.
So the stories go of the Screaming Bridge. You got a mother who died with her baby and she's still screaming, or the gentleman who fell into some concrete and got buried alive in concrete while building the bridge. Hate to break it to you guys, there is no record of a construction worker falling into concrete and they just kept building the bridge around him.
Yeah.
It could be true.
Could be true.
But you have such a haunted bridge that you end up calling it the Screaming Bridge.
That's not a bridge you want to take there, Bob. I don't think.
No. All right. I have 2 more stories.
Okay.
They're not very long, but one is completely ridiculous and one's even more ridiculous.
Like a terrifying or in a goofy sense?
Ridiculous.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Take your word for it.
So we're going to do one right now. This one's called the Hamilton Road Bridge in Mulberry, Indiana. And in urban legends on this one, it's very small. This is done by IndianaHauntedHouses.com. Urban legend says that the ghost of a short man will chase you if you stop on the 3rd bridge and flash your lights 4 times. Then cross the bridge. What a... That's when you have to draw the line and call it ridiculous. Like, how do you know that's how you summon the short man ghost? It's almost like the Bin Goblin stories out in Cuban Road out in out in Illinois there, if you've ever heard the stories of the Bin Goblin.
So this is 4 times?
You're supposed to... The ghost of a short man will chase you if you stop on the bridge, the 3rd bridge on the stretch of land, and flash your lights 4 times, then cross the bridge.
So you got to cross.
So you got to stop at the 3rd bridge.
Yeah.
Flash your lights not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times.
4
Don't do it 5 times.
Or 3 times.
Because I don't know what happens after the 4th time. You might summon 2 little men to run and chase you around. I don't know.
That's not right.
But it's 4 times you're going to summon the little man to come chase you around on this bridge. There's also supposedly phantom flames that are known to come from the woods where an 1800s church caught fire. So phantom fire, ghost fire, it's kind of metal, don't you think?
Too, yeah.
And a phantom train is also known to come down the tracks that are nearby.
Wow.
This road is very dangerous location, especially during rainy and winter weather.
You got a lot of activity happening there, Bob.
Yes, and my favorite part of this website is they let locals talk about it and their situations there. I want to read you guys some of these experiences because they are interesting to say out loud. This one is F-word creepy. I'm not going to say the word obviously because we have FCC.
Radio.
Yeah, radio. But this review is called F-word creepy. My friends and I were terrified the whole drive, and upon arrival, we noticed lights on the bridge, but they disappeared as we got closer. Could have been a reflection. We stopped on the bridge, flashed out the lights, and a man came walking down the road to our car, and then when we started to drive, he walked back into the woods. So apparently these group of people summoned the short man when they flashed the lights, but he didn't chase him. He just went back in the woods.
Yeah.
This one here says, been there many times. They experienced the Phantom Railroad. They actually saw the railroad train. The Phantom Ghost.
Yeah.
It just says, beware the ghost train.
Ghost train.
Last one is a waste of time.
Wow. It's honest with you.
Waste of time is this review. Beautiful night, clear slight breeze. We traveled all the way from the State Road 26 South till the road in its road tees and saw nothing, heard nothing, but at least it was a nice night drive.
There you have it. Hey, before we continue on here, Bob,
Uh-huh.
Nick is in here. He handles camera for our games.
Hi, Nick.
Nick, do you call it?
Oh, jeez.
When you go to the restaurant there, Nick, and you order a beverage, what do you call it? Like a Pepsi or a Sprite? What do you call it? A pop. Nick calls it a pop.
You get 2 count panic.
He calls it soda.
I call it, yeah, and then every caller I've had tonight's been soda.
We had 2 pops on the line. But
I don't wanna
2
hear
pops
it.
is a wrapper.
Don't want to hear it. 2
yeah,
pops.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So,
Thank you, Nick.
all right. Before we do this last one, we
Yeah.
actually have an EVP to play. We do. Play the EVP.
Okay, let me get it up here. So again, it's got a little video attachment too here, and there's no cussing this, right, Bob?
I don't believe so.
Okay, it's after 10 o'clock, so I think we're all right. Anyway, here we go. I should probably put the sound on for this thing, right? Let me do that. Turn that up there on my board. Let me go back. Play this now.
We'll come up on the bridge.
I heard somebody say, "Come up on the bridge."
He hits his mark center stage. And
We don't want
Can
that
you
part.
play it again?
I'll play it again there, Bob. Let me cancel out the commercials. I got it from YouTube here, so let me just. This is just the sound. Oh wait, that's just a bunch of a deer running around in the night.
we'll come up on the bridge.
One more time here.
One more time.
We'll come up on the bridge.
What are they saying, Bob?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Apparently, it's supposed to say what? Sounds like it's saying come here, right?
Come here, yeah.
Come here. They want that.
Well, it's 2 voices, isn't it?
Well, that person, that second voice is muffled. You can't understand it. But that person that said come up here on the bridge.
Matthew.
Yes. That's an actual person. Was
Yeah.
that Matthew Willard? Come here, Jeep.
Come up on the bridge.
That come up
Yeah,
on the
I don't
bridge
know.
is not the EVP, guys.
No, but there was that weird sound
Sound
effect
at the
afterwards,
beginning.
too,
It sounds
yeah.
like come here or
Yeah.
come in here.
I don't know about
And then the second voice sounded male. Don't know what it was supposed to be sounding like. But this EVP comes to us from the Dogface Bridge.
Dogface Bridge.
The Dogface Bridge. And this is actually in St. Pierre, Indiana, which is in the 219 area code still.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's only about an hour, 5 minutes away from
Yeah,
where we're at right
yeah.
now. It's about maybe like 20 minutes south of Valpo.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you familiar with actually where this is at? Or are you
Saint
just saying
Pierre?
this? Saint Pierre.
St. Pierre.
Or
yeah.
Saint Pierre.
Saint Pierre.
Saint
Yeah,
Pierre.
you know what? That's where our good friend of the station, Phil Patempa, He has a farm out that way, so close to there.
Can you ask him about the Dogface Bridge?
The Dogface Bridge.
The Dogface Bridge.
I'll ask him about the Dogface Bridge.
Okay, the Dogface Bridge. The bridge has a couple legends that surround it. One involves a 1950s honeymoon couple and a dog that ran out in front of the car, causing them to drive off the bridge. There have been many reports of things in that area, including apparitions of bodies, a female apparition with a dog's head, growling sounds and howls. Reports say that the bridge is no longer there, only cement remains. Now, this is where I said was the most ridiculous thing I have heard in a very long time. One, people are saying that they're seeing I'll get why they say this, but there's an actual cryptid story involved with this. If people are believing that they're seeing a dog head on a human body or a dog walking upright, what you're probably dealing with in the paranormal sense, and Dr. Ben Vanderson's probably yelling at the radio, get to the point, Bob, is that you're probably seeing a dog man or a werewolf. We haven't talked about those yet on the show. I specifically need Dr. Ben Vanderson to co-host with that one for me. So make sure you guys bug Ben if you know him to get on the show.
And we got to give a shout out here. Stephanie is listening into the program. She heard the clip. She said it sounds like "come up on the bridge."
That's
come up on the bridge.
Come up on the bridge. That's what it sounds. The EVP, not the guy at the end.
The EVP. Well,
Yes.
I think she was listening to the EVP
Yes.
because the thing did say "come on," right?
Yeah, come
and there was
on
like that
up.
weird sound, and then the guy started talking over it too. So.
Yes, but anyway, the dog bridge, the Dogface Bridge. So if you're seeing a half man, half wolf creature, you're not seeing a half man, half wolf creature. You're seeing either a dog man or a werewolf. And I know Dr. Ben's cheering that on. We'll get to dog man stories, I promise you, but I need Ben here for it because he is the leading expert in dog man. Anywho.
So this bridge, you don't have to.
No, would you like to know where that legend came from of this person with the head?
Yeah.
It is the most ridiculous ghost story I have heard in a very long time.
And this
okay,
is close to us here.
It's close. It's about, like I said, an hour drive from us. Yeah. I am going there. I'm going to go there with Dr. Ben Vanderson. We're going to go check this place out because I let him know we were talking about this. Story goes that when this dog ran out in front of the car, the couple swerved to hit it, still hit the dog, went off into the water. Now, the variation on if the husband lives or dies, the legend changes depending on where you're at there. But, the woman dies in every part of the legend. Mm-hmm. And so does the dog, unfortunately. Okay. The woman and the dog were decapitated in the story. They were able to find the woman's head, but not the woman's body.
Okay.
They found the dog's body, but not the dog's head.
I get where you're going with this.
And so legend goes that for whatever reason, the head of the dog and the body of the woman merged to make a dog-woman ghost.
Okay, so the head... Now, let me get this straight. So
yes, I know it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. But,
yes.
So this is... Bob, but it's not the woman's head on a dog's body. It's the dog's head on a woman's body.
It's a dog's head on a woman's body.
Okay. I guess that's... I'm trying to figure out what's more terrifying, the dog on a woman's body or a woman on a dog's body. But no matter how you slice it, it's ridiculous, Bob.
I would say so.
Yeah. Spooky. Terrifying.
Terrifying. Ask me if I believe that story. Please... Ask me if I believe that story.
This is our most local story.
This is we don't we did an episode with like Pete and whatnot.
I'm talking about from this episode.
So the most local haunted bridge that I could come up with is about an hour's drive away from where we're at recording right now. Ask me if I believe it.
Do you believe this?
No.
Oh well. So don't go.
I'm going.
You're going to go?
I'm going to go check it out. Apparently it's not there anymore.
Oh.
But the location's there.
Well, how are we going to find it?
I'm going to be determined. We have somebody that lives there, you said?
Yeah, we know. We have sources.
We have sources.
Yeah, but so the bridge is not there. What's going to...
But they might be able to tell us where the location of it's supposed to be.
That's true.
If I have to go driving around this entire place to see the ghost of a dog-headed woman... I am going. I don't care if I have to spend all day looking for this thing. There's not many there's certain ghosts that I would love to paranormal investigate for, right? Or entities. I'd love to go investigate West Virginia for the Mothman. I would love to go to the Bell Witch farm and go and, investigate the Bell Witch from the Bell family, right? I would love to do those things.
Yeah.
There is nothing more in my life than to be able to catch a picture of the dog-headed woman ghost of, you said it's called what's it, San Pierre? San Pierre, Indiana. That is my new arch rival. If it's a ghost.
Really?
Now, if it's an actual cryptid, if it's a cryptid, it's a different story, which if people are claiming that's what they're seeing, it's not out of the question because it's about maybe only an hour south of the Michigan border. It could be a dog man. Certainly could be. Could be a werewolf creature. I'll buy into that. But if it's a full transparent dog-headed woman ghost, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah. You gotta draw a hard line there, Bob.
The line is hardly drawn.
Well, I guess there's nothing to do. I guess we gotta check it out now.
We're gonna set it up when the weather breaks. Me, you, and Dr. Ben, we're gonna hop in the Bobmobile
Set up a trap?
and we're gonna go drive there, and we're gonna go look for the dog.
We gotta flash our lights.
Okay, and there is one more story, but I have never been able to find an article about it. It was just told to me.
Okay.
This was a long time ago. It was told to me many, many moons ago. I used to work at a movie theater in Portage, Indiana. I was a theater clerk there for 5 years, and out that way, I would talk to people, and I always had the fascination with the paranormal and unknown, and I'd be like, oh, where's the haunted things out this way? And they would tell me about Stagecoach Road, and Portage was a popular spot, much like our Reeder Road here in Griffith.
Of course.
But they told me of this thing called the Troll Bridge.
The Troll Bridge.
The Troll Bridge. I have never found an article about the Troll Bridge. I was just told about it. They might have been screwing with me, but I was told this by different people over the years. The Troll Bridge in Valparaiso. So we're going to hit up both the Troll Bridge, if I can find out where it's at,
not too far,
and the Dogface Bridge. Story goes that if you drive to this bridge and you stop in the middle of this bridge and you turn your car off and you walk out and you put your keys on the hood of your car and you walk back in your car, you'll see a troll hand come up.
Okay. But my question is, what if somebody just trying to steal the keys to your car?
Oh, I'm sure it is. In which case, then they get, they're going to be dealing with a very angry Bob.
Yeah,
but my new arch nemesis is the dog-headed woman ghost. That's my new rival.
On the Troll Bridge, did he have to ask you 3 questions?
No, you just turn your car off and leave your keys,
Pay
and
the
apparently a troll appears.
Wow, well, let's try that, and then we'll go search for the dog-headed woman.
I actually,
we'll make a day of it.
We actually have somebody that could tell us where the head's at, the bridge is at.
Not where the head's
Now we don't know. Unless Phil could tell me where the head is. If I would have known that Phil is actually lives there, I'd have been like, hey, Count, can you get on the horn with this guy? And be like,
I don't know if he knows about it though.
Can you find out for me? We need an update for next week's episode.
Yeah, we'll see.
But if he's a local there. Yeah. He might at least know the legend.
Or you might be alerting him to something he should be
aware of.
Oh. Could be sneaking around out there,
Oh my goodness.
Looking in windows.
So those are some of the haunted bridge stories in Indiana. It's an interesting topic. Bridges are a easy topic or easy target when it comes to a ghost sighting because, well, 2 things. Usually bridges go over the concept of water, and water is a conduit of energy, as we talk about, right?
Yep.
And the paranormal, if there's a water source, you might be attracting spirits that way. And they're dangerous. So if you people are crashing and dying and by the, there or drowning in creeks, then you might have a haunted bridge. And in the case of Indiana, we have a were-dog ghost woman haunting a bridge. We have a troll. We have the screaming bridge where the bridge just screams. And then we have poor little Edna that may or may not have actually existed and drowned by the bridge. And you're supposed to honk 3 times.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Haunted bridges.
Haunted
bridges. Count. I think that's about time.
What the heck? This is. I said at the beginning it's gonna be a humdinger of episode.
A real barn raiser.
A barn burning, barn raising, whatever you want to say. But Bob, this makes me look at bridges much differently. Makes me not want to cross them.
Sounds good, Cal.
I'll go around them.
Yes. And folks, thank you so much for watching and listening to another episode of Bob After Dark. I just want to wish you all sweet dreams. To my mom who's listening on the radio, good night to you, and Dad, wherever you are in the universe. I hope you're happy, comfortable, and doing whatever it is that you want to be doing. And to Tiff, no matter where you are in the world, I hope you're happy and have the sweetest dreams of them all. Good night, everybody, and remember the two most important rules of Bob After Dark are: not all who wander are lost, and as above, so below. Until next time.
Memoriam Development.
Go.